Have you ever found yourself entangled in a situation that spiraled out of control and it had you wondering, how did I get here and how do I get out? Today's video is your escape plan. We're going to dive deep into the murky waters of misunderstanding and betrayal. Stick around to uncover, better yet, to understand the full story that might very well transform your life. Welcome to my very first channel here on good old YouTube. If you followed me from other platforms, then you know how I like to do. I like to dive right in. But for those of you that are meeting me for the very first time, all I simply ask is that you please like, share, and subscribe if any of this you're thoroughly enjoying. All right, let's dive right in. Question number 1. I need some of that classic wisdom insight. I know where you followed me from already. Me and my girlfriend have been going solid for 2 years, keeping our cash to ourselves and splitting bills 50-50. All smooth, right? But out of the blue, she's like, let's get a joint bank account. I see where we're going already. Real talk, this shiznai has been kind of bugging. I'm not sure how I feel about kissing my financial freedom goodbye. She's pulling in more paper than me. Paper means money, for those of you that don't understand the lingo. Thanks to her side hustles, so I'm not really tripping about her taking advantage of me. Wisdom, break it down for me. Is pulling our funds the ultimate trust fall, or is this a no-go zone? Short, sweet, and straight to the point. Just how I like it. So first off, I gotta give you your kudos. I gotta give you your points because I personally love, and you guys are celebrating 2 years. I think that is incredible, and that in itself is worth celebrating. So I gotta give you your flowers first and foremost. But let's dive right into it. Not all women want to get married, okay? And so I don't know if your girl falls into this category, but hear me out. When it comes down to combining your income, it is equivalent to a woman saying, I love you. Because what she's trying to do is open up the door to the next stage in your relationship. Do you feel me? Like she is coming in saying that, A, I trust you, right? And she wants you to know that commitment, it means something to her, again, on a very different level. So while I see the hesitation, I do want you to just take a step back and look at it from a different set of eyes. Tell you what, let's weigh the pros and the cons and see if we can make some of this make a little bit more sense, okay? Deal? Let's do it. I want you to understand that when we are dealing with relationships, this is not an ownership. This is in fact a partnership, okay? And so bringing your income together or your money or what have you, bringing all this together, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it actually simplifies life. It simplifies life in a way that you can put all this money in one account and you have all your bills that are going to be taken care of in that very basic account. And maybe she's a little bit more in tune to taking care of the finances or the bills, so to speak. Or maybe it's you. Maybe she's the one that's saying, hey, I want to put some of my money into an account because you're the one that pays the bills, and maybe she just doesn't want to keep up. She's already hustling. She got a bunch of jobs that she's already working. Maybe this just feels like a job to her. Like, did you ever consider that? So I want you to just look at it from a very different perspective because this might very well be a pro, more so for you than you actually think. Moving on to your biggest con. Sounds like a lyric in a rap song. All of that, all three of those all together. All right, so your biggest fear is losing your financial independence. I see it clearly. It is written out in the stars, okay? But you don't actually have to lose your financial independence. Why do I say that? Because this is just one account. Listen, sir, I am a businesswoman at heart, which means that I have plenty of accounts. I have an account for just about every single thing in the world. I have an account for food. I have an account for bills. I have an account to pay Uncle Sam during tax time because he's always trying to come and collect his money. But I say that to say, what's wrong with just having an account specific to the bills in the home that your girl wants to, contribute to or can join? What's the problem? The other thing that I can kind of see being an issue here is that she might very well, and again, I don't know her. I'm not even going off of what you're telling me. I don't know her, but is there a fear? Let me ask it this way. Is there a fear that she might take the money and do other things with it, other things outside of paying the bills? She may use the money to pamper herself up, to get her nails done, to get her hair done. Like, is there a fear that she's going to take that money and utilize it for other means? If it's just the simple idea of, hey, you know what? I just want to keep my money over here and I want you to keep your money over there. Maybe that's just it. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. My suggestion is very simple. I want you to speak with her and I want you to find out what is the main reason why she wants you both to combine your finances or your money. And is it okay with both her and you that she has her own bank account, you have your own bank account, and just for household things, minimal household things. I'm talking about we're starting off very, very small, like groceries, for instance, that you both will contribute to a bank account, a joint bank account together, and just see how that goes at least for another maybe 6 months to a year. And if everything checks out well, hey, listen, grow with it. And if it doesn't, well, then it just doesn't. Moving right along. New question alert. A friend of mine has been seeing a mutual acquaintance. This older guy in our neighborhood. He isn't wealthy, but he's generous. He pays some of her bills, asking only for hand-holding and conversation in return. I was intrigued by all of this, so I decided to explore this for myself. Naughty, naughty. One evening, I acted like I made a delivery to the wrong person and met him. I found his address. We talked, the chemistry was there, and he gave me his number. We planned a date where more than just hands were being held. I saw an opportunity to benefit financially from him. The night we were supposed to go out on a date, he greeted me in his silk robe and cowboy boots. As we moved to intimacy, it became clear that he wanted to do more than hand-holding. This man took I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but the V pill. It's a pill that men take when they're a lot older and they can't. Okay, you got my drift. Basically, we went to town all night. He withheld the money that I was expecting to receive. I feel betrayed. I contemplated confronting my friend about lying about his ways. Before I could, she called me, revealing that she knew about my plans all along. She had switched his usual medication with the V pills as a way to set me up to teach me a lesson. My God, my God. I feel like I wasted my time and didn't get any money out of this. I'm stuck between wanting revenge or bowing out gracefully. What should I do? First of all, thank you for sharing your story. That was one that was filled with unexpected twists. It's like you handed me popcorn and made me sit in the theater to watch a Lifetime movie. That was great. Everything was very poetic in a non-poetic way. Moving right along. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you for that. You ventured into a situation with expectations that appear here to be both personal and financial. And while you had this, looks like you had an idea in mind of what you expected the outcome to be, at the end of the day, you were betrayed. That's what it looks like. You were the one that was taken for a fool. And I know that when that is not the outcome you are looking for, it hurts. But I am someone who believes with everything in me in accountability. Ma'am, I cannot hold your hand any harder than I am from a distance and say to you that you are the cause of this problem. You cannot scream betrayal when you were the one that was carrying the hot pot behind your back in the first place. It was always in your hands to begin with. You saw your friend and you saw this person that had a good thing going for themselves. And instead of sitting back and loving them and blessing them for their experience and their love or whatever she was getting out of the scenario for herself, you wanted a piece of the pie, but that piece of the pie turned into poison for you. May this also be a lesson learned here going forward to leave other people alone. Leave their scenario alone. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you sound like. I can only go off of what you wrote down here. There is always someone out there for someone else. You have your man. He's out there. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to venture off and take something or someone that doesn't belong to you. Even if this man doesn't fully belong to her, that's someone that you called your friend. So why would you betray her? Now let's consider your next steps. Revenge feels oh so sweet right now, especially with your emotions running so high. But I can assure you this, every single person that is rightfully sitting in somebody's prison, sitting in someone's jail, is there because they did something out of an emotion. They reacted in a way that they shouldn't have. And if they would have had self-control, they wouldn't be in that situation. That is the difference between someone who was on the inside versus someone who was on the outside. So what does revenge look like to you, right? It's never the option. It never is. And there are some things, I'm not one that's going to throw out a bunch of Bible scriptures to you, but I do want to say this. There are some things that are better left in God's hands. But, at the end of the day, accountability I stand firm on this. Accountability weighs a little bit more heavy on this situation than the idea of going after revenge for something that technically you did, not her. With that being said, ladies, fellas, what advice do you have for these two incredible souls? Let's see it in the comments below. And if you have a question of your own, head over to the link down below, select Ask Wisdom, and ask away. Until next time, stay wise and stay wonderful. Be blessed.